welcome to this review of the video game Borderlands for the Xbox 360. As always, I am your host, Captain Jackhammer, and I thank you for joining me. Borderlands is Gearbox Software's attempt to commingle first-person shooters and RPG genres, in the hope of providing a more in-depth experience for gamers. The players are hurled onto a brutal planet called Pandora, and you're chasing a myth of a hidden vault with untold riches and powerful alien technology. The legend has grown for generations, and you are one of 4 characters whose fate brings them closer to this legend. The players get to choose between 4 character classes, all of which possess different skills and abilities. So you can step into the shoes of a berserker named Brick. He's basically a tank with powerful melee attacks, and of course he's a weapons and explosives expert. There's Roland, a soldier. Proficient with combat rifles and shotguns, this character deploys an upgradable turret that can add extra damage to your enemies. The turret can also heal nearby friendlies, and if upgraded, recharges your ammo. Then there's Mordecai, the hunter. He's best with snipers, revolvers, and pistols. And he can also release the Bloodwing, a deadly bird that may be taught to take out multiple foes in one majestic sweep. And finally, there's the token female of the game, Lilith. A siren, she uses an ability called Phase Walk that allows her to become invisible to opponents and get closer with increased speed. When she comes out of hiding, she triggers a potent shockwave that boasts area effect damage and proves to be most handy in larger battle situations. Borderlands is geared towards co-op gameplay, which supports up to 4 players, and is arguably the best way to experience this game. You can opt to take on the main campaign alone, albeit there are so many aspects in co-op that make Borderlands an unforgettable experience. Why would you? And although 4-player sessions can get extremely hectic, the gameplay in co-op is incredibly smooth. Cash and experience points are equally distributed after completed quests, making the game worthwhile for each player who took part in a certain challenge. Borderlands has great replay value. You're able to continue your game even after finishing the last story-related quest. This gives players an opportunity to clean up any quest areas they missed out on. The campaign itself is very challenging, so you won't finish or experience everything Borderlands has to offer in a wink of an eye. As far as the story for Borderlands, frankly, Borderlands can use a richer character backdrop and generally better narrative. Everything the player might be interested in knowing about Pandora is written in quest logs, although these are often restricted to specific tasks and offer little about the region or its inhabitants. This is one of the biggest flaws of the game. The gameplay is still pretty good, but if you hunger for a decent narrative and deep characterization, I'm afraid Borderlands may come as a disappointment. Of course, one of the selling points of Borderlands is the endless amount of guns you can find in the game. This is also one of its weaknesses. You see, Borderlands is touted as a role-playing game with first-person shooter elements, but the RPG aspect seems to take a back seat to the FPS gameplay and the endless search for the ultimate gun. And sometimes, the game just becomes about who has the biggest gun. The graphics aren't bad, they're just different. It's like a comic book came to life on your console. And with the weird enemy character models, the game sometimes looks like Road Warrior meets a Tim Burton movie. Like I said, they aren't bad, and I guess it fits the game's atmosphere, but the graphics are lacking the photorealism to some of the other games that have been released in recent years. Borderlands has other flaws as well. For example, the AI. Enemies get confused or just forget they have to attack, and even occasionally ignore the fact that they're being fired upon. Vehicles leave a lot to be desired as well. The physics don't always work, and there are plenty of unexpected hindrances on the road that tend to spoil the fun. The technical issues on the Xbox 360 continue in the form of sudden and severe frame rate drops. These usually occur when players are fighting in larger areas and there are a lot of objects that need to be rendered in the background. Even with all these flaws, Borderlands ultimately delivers what players are bound to expect from it. And hopefully, with updates and DLC, the issues with the AI will be eliminated. Borderlands gets an 8 out of 10. A fine game that's sure to provide hours upon hours of fun, but the lack of a compelling story and the AI issues prevent me from giving it a full 10 out of 10. Thanks for watching. I'm Captain Jackhammer, and I will see you next time.